This is question time at Alhambra Investments. It's Friday, and this is the day that we do a wrap up on the things we've seen this week. So, Steve Brennan, Joe Calhoun, both here. And Joe, let's start with you today. You've looked at the numbers, the information that's come in. What did you see?
Not a lot really to report this week. And we had, a couple of regional Fed surveys that improved, but they're still slightly negative. That's not really news. Richmond Fed and the Kansas City Fed both, like I said, improved, but they're still slightly negative. Chicago Fed National Activity Index, which we watch pretty closely, is kind of a broad indicator about the economy, came in at a minus 0.28, which zero level on CFNAI is trend growth. We really track the 3-month moving average, which is now a minus 0.19. It means we're growing slightly below trend. These things have recently have had a history of being revised higher, though, so we'll see what happens with that. Existing home sales came out this week. They were terrible. I don't think anybody should be shocked by that. Mortgage rates have gone back up. People are not having much, not doing much in the housing market. We also saw that mortgage applications were also down again as mortgage rates have ticked back up here. We did have new home sales were a little bit better, plus 4%. I mean, they're starting from a pretty low level. Existing home sales too, running at like 3.8 million. We need to get that number up close to 5 to be back to normal. So that's really not very good. But that's what we've talked about all along. If rates come down, these things improve automatically. Um, let's see. We got durable goods this morning. Durable goods was a minus 0.8, but that's mostly Boeing related. If you take that out, X transportation, it's a plus 0.4. It is what it is. Core capital goods within that report was a plus 0.5. That's more important than anything. Capital goods spending is feeds directly into investment. So that's kind of it. I mean, it just wasn't a lot to really move the market, and so we didn't get a lot of movement. I mean, that's really what it boils down to. I think the stock market this week is moved by less than 1%. So anyway, just not a lot going on this week. I think everybody's kind of waiting on the election.
Steve, what about you? Anything to pontificate on over these numbers?
The one that jumped out at me is one of the same ones that jumped out at Joe was that existing home sales number at like one of the lowest levels since 2010. I mean that kind of jumps out at you, right? Makes for a great news headline. I don't think it's surprising to me. It's kind of a little bit of people getting hit with reality. You had the 10-year trading down almost around 3.6% in September. We're now up over 4.2. Expectations just, I think, got out of hand in terms of expecting a lot of Fed cuts, expecting rates to go lower, people being able to access mortgage rates that were a bit lower. And then when that reality hit of, nah, rates are going in the other direction, we haven't gone up a full point. But a move to 3.6 to 4.2 is definitely been enough on the 10-year and what's affected the mortgage rates to have impact on housing. And we're still seeing, a solid economy, but residential real estate's not the bright spot within the economy.
So, Joe, as you've looked at the numbers and you mentioned the election, you think it's going to be kind of flat this way until we get through the election in a week and a half?
Well, it depends on the news, obviously. I haven't actually looked at the schedule for next week, so I'm not sure what's coming up. But I mean, look, this week, think about it however you want. But I mean, interest rates barely moved. The dollar was up this week. The dollar is back. The dollar index is back above 104. But again, it's not shocking. It's right in the middle of that range it's been in for a long time. So just not a whole lot going on. I think S&P this week, I think, is up or down like 0.3 or something like that. It's just not a whole lot going on this week. It's interesting too because it's earnings season. You would think you would get more movement, and we have in some individual names, but when you look at it overall, just not a lot going on. Yeah, I think people are kind of sitting on their hands here waiting to see how this election comes out.
Well, we will keep our eyes on everything. You guys have a great weekend, and we'll check back in again on Monday.